Today I wish to celebrate Andy Warhol, and I feel conflicted about that because in some ways I see him as one of the greatest scam artists of the 20th century, because he was able to take the process of screen printing and sell it to people for outrageous amounts of money, and in a way not even having to really do that much in the way of artistic activity apart from the conception of the idea that he brought into being. And of course he was the man who set up a kind of a commune called the Factory, where his work was created. And of course it was called a factory because it was churning out artworks, and it was churning out artworks in the way the industry had begun to churn out products, almost completely disconnected from human from human touch, created by machines, designed, but after which the whole production process is reduced to machines and simple processes that then allow the replication of things. It's funny because today we live in an IKEA society where almost everything that we receive has been produced, mounted, assembled, designed by machines even. And so it's very difficult to think back to a time before then when everything was handmade, or at least created by small units of people, small collectives that chose to make tapestries, chose to make furniture, and where every object might have received its final polish by hand rather than by machine. And so in a way he was reflecting a mirror back to society in his artworks. He was saying, well, if this is what we've come to expect of art as much as everything else. It's the commodification, it's the industrialization of even aesthetics, that thing which is supposed to move us. And he focused on things like cans of beans, these utterly familiar things to us that we see mass produced on the supermarket shelves. And that's the food of people. That's what that had become, rather than eating fruits and vegetables, people were eating things out of cans, and we take that for granted too now. And so why not our art be served to us in cans as a result of industrialized process? It was a very acute and painful mirror for society, which is why I think there's such a reflex rejection of what he was doing. It's really difficult for someone who appreciates fine art to accept that Andy Warhol was playing a valid function as an artist. And yet, to me, the story that was embedded into what he created, even if he didn't touch any of those pieces physically, is still really profound. Maybe I'm just a sucker for contemporary art as much as I am for the fine arts. But today I want to give thanks for the presence of Andy Warhol, because he certainly, just through his existence, his unique style and talent, has certainly given me a great deal of pause for thought on these subjects of what is art and what is beauty and who are we as human beings. So giving thanks to Andy Warhol.